Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today, as you can tell by the title, we'll be looking at these. The backwards on your screen, how you're seeing them. Anyway, they are the Pets at Home and RSPCA guides about hamster care. So we've got Syrian hamster one, Dwarf hamster one, and next, time when I'm doing this, I'll be doing another one by the pet charity. Again, it's probably backwards. I don't know if it's backwards or not. It's backwards for me, probably not for you then. So before we get on with it, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and yeah, I'm gonna get on with it. So the first one we'll be looking at is the Caring for Dwarf Hamster guide. I'm just going to go through the most important bits in my eyes. So yeah, let's get on with it. So dwarf hamsters as pets. Dwarf hamsters are nocturnal, so they sleep during the day and become active at night. Not necessarily true, they can be nocturnal or they can be crepuscular, however you say it. So crepuscular basically is dawn and dusk, like when they're most active. They do not like being disturbed when they are sleeping. True, so don't disturb them, don't wake them up. Dwarf hamsters are very small, move quickly and are sensitive to rough handling, so may be better suited as pets for older children or adults. Yes, I wouldn't recommend them for small children. I wouldn't recommend hamsters for small children in general. So that's good to point out. They are quite skittish, so they are a bit harder to handle. Dwarf hamsters live for around two years. Some may live longer though. Yes, that is true. They live about 1.5 to 2 years. Some live longer, like my past hamster Sweetie. She lived for 3 years, or just over 3 years. These are the 3 species of dwarf hamsters commonly kept as pets. Russian hamsters, that they can be beige, brown or black and white and in colour, and are lively and sociable, which is true. Chinese hamsters have a longer tail than most hamsters and are either grey-brown colour with a black stripe or a white colour with a grey stripe. They're great climbers and will hold onto your finger with their paws. Or hold onto your fingers with their paws. The longer tail and colour bits, true. They're great climbers. I don't really know, I haven't owned one personally, but hamsters aren't great climbers, but I suppose Chinese hamsters might be a little bit better because they have a longer tail to help them balance. But I wouldn't say hamsters are great climbers at all. And then the Roborowski hamster are smaller and quicker than both Russian and Chinese hamsters. They can be hard to handle until they get used to you. They are usually a sandy colour with a white stomach and white eyebrows. True, you can get different pied and husky type ones. I don't really know the names of all the types of mutations or whatever of Roborowskis. Now, one thing they don't say is that that is also the winter white hamster. They are, by the name, white. They become white or very pale colour in winter, and they're usually brown in summer. And you can also get winter white and Russian dwarf hybrids, because they can breed together and someone silly enough to end up breeding them together. And I think Frodo's kind of like a hybrid because he has brownish colorations, little patches in the summertime, and then they go really light blonde, barely noticeable in the winter, so I think he's kind of like a hybrid. Anyway, the next thing is, do we like company? Female Chinese hamsters may be better off alone as they may fight, but other dwarf hamsters, including male Chinese hamsters, are generally sociable and can be kept in same-sex pairs or groups. this is what I don't like about this. They keep kind of promoting dwarfs in pairs and groups, which is not true. All hamsters are solitary. I don't care what your argument is about keeping them together, like, oh well, actually they can be kept together, you know, I've had them before, they haven't fought. It doesn't matter. I don't really care about your argument. That sounds really bad, but they are solitary species of animals, so please just don't put up a fight. Just let them be on their own. The reason why some of them are in groups or pairs in the wild is because they have 5 to 10 miles of territory, so they can move away from each other if they're angry or feeling aggressive or anything, and then they have enough space and burrows under the ground to, you know, do whatever. And yeah, I think female Chinese hamsters are better off alone. I don't really know much about Chinese hamsters. I've never personally owned them. They're really far away. Like, if I ever, because I really want a Chinese hamster at some point, when I've been looking, they're about, the nearest ones are about 6 hours away from where I live, so wouldn't be able to get one at the moment. So choose a pair or group of siblings that have grown up together and buy them at the same time so they already know each other. Yes, if you really want pair or group of dwarfs, which I think is a bit selfish because they shouldn't be together, then please have them in siblings, like same-sex pairs or groups, but just don't have them in pairs or groups because you don't want any unexpected litters, and siblings are safer because they've been together and they know each other then, and it's quite dangerous bringing two, you know, separate dwarfs together that they haven't met each other before or anything like that. So new individuals will not be accepted into the group later on. To help your hamsters live happily together, provide lots of space and hiding places in their cage so they can get away from each other if they want. Again, that's showing that they don't want to be together. Check them daily to make sure they're getting on, because there is a high chance of them fighting. If any of your hamsters are housed alone, you will need to provide them with companionship by spending time interacting gently and positively with them each day. Yes, I suppose so. Hamsters are one of those species where they don't desperately need companionship like social animals. They would rather just do their own thing. Some of them might like being held and going out and playing, but some of them might just like being on their own and not coming out when you're around, and they're kind of classed as ghost hamsters, and I'll leave Victoria Raechel's video about them down below in the description for you to check out. So if your hamster starts to fall out with each other, it will be necessary to house them separately to prevent them injuring each other. Yes, but again, that's why they shouldn't live together. Where do we like to live? Dwarf hamsters are much smaller than Syrians, and special care should be taken when choosing a suitable cage. Buy the biggest cage you can afford, as dwarf hamsters are very active and need a lot of space. Cover the floor of the cage with wood flakes, deep enough for them to dig, and provide safe materials such as shredded paper bedding for nesting. So this, again, they show in the picture that I'll pop on the screen, the cage that they don't sell anymore, because I forgot to mention this that I got a couple of months ago. I don't know if you can see, you can probably not see that, but it says that this was made the 20th of December 2013 at 12:20, which is very reassuring that they know what they're doing at petsathome, and that's why it's really not great care, not very useful, because it's old. Both of these are from 2013. So that's why you cannot find this cage anymore that they say is suitable for dwarf hamsters. It's not. And also wood flakes on the floor. They don't tell you which ones are the safe ones that you can use, which is aspen and hemp. And also kiln dried pine shavings, but I just wouldn't even risk it with pine because it can still cause infections and illnesses. And the way they say deep enough to dig, they can dig in about an inch of bedding, because they can just kind of like do that and dig it up to make a pile at the back. So saying dig means that you are really only recommending maybe about an inch or two of bedding when they should have at least 6 inches, preferably more. Provide several shelters and stuff like that. And then what do we eat? They're just promoting Pets at Home hamster nuggets, and they're just saying that small quantities of fruit and vegetables, maybe once or twice a week, which is fine. And they're only really recommending seeds as a treat, which some seeds are only for treat, like sunflower seeds and millet sprays are a nice treat for them. But they should have a high quality seed mix and some animal protein as well in there, like mealworms and chicken, so on. So what do we need to do? Dwarf hamsters are very active at night and need lots of space and things to explore. Wooden or cardboard tubes and tunnels will keep your pets entertained, and a wheel fixed securely onto the side of the cage will allow them to burn off energy. Make sure that the wheel is solid rather than open rungs, aka wire or mesh wheel, which I'm glad they mentioned, so they can't trap their feet. Also, that they didn't mention, so that they don't get bumblefoot, which is an infection, like inflammatory infection in the foot, which is really painful for them, that quite a few small animals can get just generally, but mainly caused to wire, like walking on wire. And then again, shelters and tubes, secure hamster playpen filled with wooden or cardboard tubes and hiding places, and suitable toys can be used to provide exercise outside the cage each evening, which is a good thing to note, because that they weren't saying a ball, and they were saying that you should always be supervising them while they're in the playpen. They talk about how to handle them, just wait until they're naturally awake, quietly talk about the voice and cup them with the hands, which is good, all good advice, and never to wake up hamsters or abruptly wake them up and pick them up, because it could frighten them, because they are prey animals and they may end up biting you or screaming or having a bad reaction and a lot of stress caused. Keeping us clean. You can keep keeping us clean. Clean your pet's cage out thoroughly once a week with pet safe disinfectant. No, please don't do that. It should be once a month, when you kind of half clean, like not thoroughly, but half clean your pet's enclosure, because they need to not be as stressed, and you can spot clean daily or every other day. I usually do weekly spot clean on the underneath, but usually they have like a corner where they wee, or Jet at least does, so I clean it out every couple of days, so that's all clean, and then I go for like a little bit of a bigger spot clean every week and top them up with bedding and stuff like that. Cleaning can be stressful for your hamster because it removes the familiar scent, so put a small amount of used but unsoiled nesting and bedding material back into the cage after cleaning to keep them happy, which is nice that they pointed that out. And then they're talking about, like illnesses, common illnesses that you can get in hamsters, and that you just call your vet if you're concerned. And then they talk about chew toys. So hamsters' teeth grow constantly, so it's important to always provide wooden toys or blocks for gnawing or on to prevent overgrown teeth. Check your hamster's teeth regularly. If you see that they're overgrown or you have any problems, contact your vet. And they say about regular grooming with a nice soft brush or comb can strengthen the bond between you and your hamster, which I don't really know because they are quite clean animals, so they usually groom themselves. I mean, I've tried to groom my hamsters with a little soft brush. They never seem to like it. They always seem to run away. So you could do that if you want, especially if you have a long-haired Syrian hamster. I would definitely have a little brush to groom them each day to get all the bedding out and just make sure there's no knots, because that will be uncomfortable. And then they talk about how travelling can be stressful, so you have to have a secure carrier and have some familiar smelling bedding in there. Settling in, one of the most stressful times is when they move house. And they talk about how wet tail or other things can be triggered, and that you leave them for a couple of days before handling. And then they talk about a couple of things in there, but overall it's not the best because obviously it was made in 2013 because I remember getting this Syrian one back then because I got it my first Syrian. When did I got this one a couple of days before I got my Syrian, so I would have got it in December, I think. I don't really know, I can't remember, it's too long ago. And it was kind of the size of this one, so when I went in a couple of months ago and I was like, oh, these look new, they might have actually updated them, but no, they haven't. They're exactly the same. I was like, oh, they've used the same picture, but yeah. This video is really, really long, so I'm gonna end it here, and I'm gonna do the Syrian one as a separate video. I'm just gonna do a mini series about these. I'm probably all gonna film them all today, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.